What if science and soul were never separate to begin with? What if the strange truths of quantum physics are not just abstract theories, but keys to understanding your own dreams, your trauma, and even your power to shape reality? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you're here because I truly believe we are on the threshold of something extraordinary. Not a scientific breakthrough in the usual sense, but a revolution of perception, a turning inside out of the world we thought we knew, a revelation rising from the heart of paradox itself, where the boundaries between inner and outer, psyche and matter, dissolve like mist at dawn. Quantum physics and depth psychology, two seemingly separate realms, are converging. Not through intention, but through necessity. Not by design, but by destiny. They are being drawn together like twin stars caught in one another's gravitational pull. Each field has wandered deep into the unknown, one into the subatomic fabric of matter, the other into the deep wells of the unconscious, and now they are meeting, mirroring, speaking in symbols and probabilities, beginning to recognize themselves in each other. Most of us, like most animals, and yes, even physicists, are conditioned to ignore what doesn't fit the script we've inherited. We tune out anomalies, strange data, inner promptings, but the anomalies are mounting. The script is cracking, and through those cracks, something vast and luminous is peeking through. It turns out that psyche and physis, the inner world and the outer, are not two separate things. They are not even opposite. They are complementary reflections of the same singular mystery, experienced through different lenses. Two sides of one shimmering coin. To understand this, we must snap out of the trance of believing that we are separate, and we must relinquish the illusion that an intellect alone can grasp, that we are one, one with each other and one with Source. What is required of us is inner work, a psychospiritual effort, because the unification of these worlds won't begin with happening out there. It happens first within us. As Jung and Wolfgang Pauli both intuited, we cannot create the one if we are not one ourselves. The cosmos, it seems, is not simply made of matter. And if you think about it, we know matter itself, when observed closely enough, ceases to behave like anything solid. It looks like empty space, but acts like patterns of possibility. Probabilistic clouds, they call it. Waveforms waiting to be collapsed into reality. The more deeply we look, the more reality slips through our fingers. Jung said, the unconscious is also like a field of probabilities, and Pauli agreed. Matter and psyche, he believed, are not separate domains, but twin expressions of the same unseen order, an order that is neither fully mental nor fully material, but something in between, or perhaps beyond. Dark matter, the vast majority of the cosmos, does not emit, absorb, or reflect light. It is completely invisible, yet it shapes everything. Sound familiar? It should. The darkness out there in the cosmos echoes the darkness within, the unlit regions of the psyche. The unknown is everywhere. The mystery is not outside of us. We are the mystery, becoming conscious of itself. In this dark, the quantum and the psyche are meeting, but very tentatively from opposite directions. They're feeling for each other like hands in the night. Physics is encountering boundaries of rational thought it cannot cross without psyche. Psychology is confronting phenomena that cannot be explained without the strange logic of the quantum. Each needs the other to move forward. Language strains under the weight of this convergence. We don't yet have vocabulary that can hold both wave and particle, both psyche and field, and yet we must begin to speak it. This is one place where quantum itself can help us, if we let it. It is the language of both psyche and physis together, expressing two aspects of our reality. Because this is the threshold of a new worldview, one that transcends the tired war between science and spirituality, between the measurable and the meaningful. Quantum mechanics shows us that nothing is truly separate. Everything is connected at a level beyond space and time. And this isn't abstract. This is personal. It shows up in our dreams, in our relationships, in our traumas, in the strange coincidences we shrug off, even though they speak directly to our souls. For example, synchronicity is not a poetic fantasy. It is the very structure of reality revealing itself, a highly improbable coincidence between inner states and outer events, as if the universe itself were conspiring to wake us up. Jung didn't believe synchronicity could be fully understood without physics, and Pauli, his unlikely ally from the world of quantum mechanics, agreed. Think about it for a minute. As I was writing this, I was really working hard to frame this. I have had and have heard of a variety of synchronicities, but I wanted to map out how it brings both inner and outer worlds together. If a large, strange, but beautiful iridescent beetle flies in through your window, that would be a physical event. But what if the night before you dreamt of a large iridescent beetle? That would be pretty remarkable. That is, however, an inner event. But what if when the beetle flew in, you actually recalled the dream, and in that moment, the beetle held some deeper meaning for you? The beetle in the external world is intertwined with your inner dream life in that moment. Physis plus psyche makes that a special moment. That's how synchronicities are. They feel special. I have had many synchronicities, and more often than not, I can tie them back to a dream. But I admit, I ask myself, was it a dream? Or was it something even more anomalous, like an experience in a parallel universe or a past life experience? It's hard to pinpoint, and actually, it's just a feeling I have. Again, feeling is an inner experience. Jung and Pauli saw what few dared to see, that mind and matter are inseparable, that the observer isn't outside the system, but within it. That perception is an act of participation and creation. And if this is true, then everything changes. Causality, the old backbone of science, begins to bend. We are asked to move beyond linear thinking into something richer, more paradoxical, something that includes the irrational, the symbolic, the acausal. We're being asked to see with more than our minds. We are dreamers of reality, and reality, it seems, is dreaming us back. In quantum terms, before something is observed, it exists in superposition, multiple states at once, waiting to collapse into form. What if our own lives are like this? What if our futures are open ended possibilities, awaiting the creative act of attention or intention? What if our traumas, our relationships, our very identities are all in this superposition, able to shift, to heal, to reconfigure once we observe them with new eyes? What we see in others is often a projection of what lies inside ourselves, and the way others see us can shape who we become. If we're seen with love, we rise. If we're judged, we hide. Quantum reality reflects this. The field collapses when we perceive it. Who shows up depends on who's looking and how. It's not just metaphysical speculation either. We experience this every day. A stranger's kindness shifts our mood. A parent's gaze defines a child. Financial markets fluctuate not just on facts, but on collective perception. The observer matters, and so do you. A friend and I were having lunch recently, and I was reminded of a story she had shared in our group a while back. There was a person she knew that held very staunchly opposing views, which is very common these days. One day, my friend gave this woman a deep hug. It caught the woman so off guard, she immediately softened and was able to have a conversation. Timeline shifted, particle collapsed, trajectory changed. Here's another example. A friend and I parted ways a few years ago after a painful disagreement. However, after some time had passed and her inner world had changed, she offered me an apology. I openly accepted it, and we started on a new friendship journey as two women who together collapsed a wave of possibility into a particle, a positive one. We jumped from a dimension where we were not friends to one where we were and continue to be to this day. But I think the most beautiful part of the story is that act, her reaching out and me accepting, unlocked even more potential in each of our lives. It unlocked the potential to manifest more positivity and abundance. Our previously dissociated state was a blockage for both of us. With the blockage gone, we were able to flow more freely. Timeline shifted, particle collapsed, trajectory changed. Each of us is a facet of this quantum field, not separate, not passive, but a co-creator, a dreaming node in the web of becoming. And trauma, both personal and collective, can be understood in this light too. Psyche splits when overwhelmed, creating autonomous complexes that seem to act with a will of their own. They haunt us like entities until we realize they are us, created by us, waiting to be reintegrated. This too is quantum, the link between subject and object, between what we experience inside and what appears outside. It demands not either or thinking, but both and. A four-valued logic, a deeper awareness. If we see these shadow entities as outside forces attacking us, we remain stuck in repetition, madness, Watiko. But if we see them as manifestations of our own dream, our own acknowledged power, we reclaim ourselves and we break the loop. And from that awareness, something new is born. We live in a universe that is not fixed, not dead, not separate. It is alive, responsive, participatory. The act of observation is an act of creation, not just in physics, but in our lives, our hearts, and our healing. We do not live in a linear, sequential world. To believe so is to deny our role in the unfolding dream. Quantum physics is not just a theory. It is a mirror, and what it reflects is the truth we've always carried, that we are artists of that reality. Each moment a brushstroke, each perception a prayer. We are quantum entities in the flesh. We carry all possibilities within us, and how it turns out depends on how we dream it. So dream wisely. So where is a place in your life that needs healing? Is there a place where you can put the wave particle collapse into intentional practice to experience the positivity it can bring to your life? What relationship needs the healing mojo that can open you up to a life of more joy, fulfillment, and abundance? Maybe that relationship is with yourself. What part of you needs to be acknowledged and seen? Perhaps reaching out to that part of yourself and offering it a place in your life will unlock potential you never dreamed possible. And here's a final question. If collapsing a probability wave into a particle manifests as something in your life, isn't that what birthing is? Birthing in all its forms, babies, ideas, artistic creations, novels, music, even thoughts and relationships. We create every time we collapse a wave. We are all creators. Well, that's it for today. I really appreciate you guys being here. This episode was really important to me. These chapters in Paul Levy's book, The Quantum Revelation, are just so inspiring. And the more I read and the more I listen to and the more I learn, the more confident I am that this is going in the right direction. And let's face it, even if we're wrong, I don't think there's anything inherently bad about talking about love and oneness and all those things. So I think the main takeaway, though, is how this all applies to our daily lives and how we can begin to acknowledge the change that's coming by adopting some of these new ways of thinking into the way we process relationships and issues that we're having personally. What I do find fascinating is that maybe for the first time in history, mankind's history, we have a level of technology and a level of awareness in place and intelligence that allows us to see an evolutionary leap coming, to anticipate it, and not only to anticipate it, but to expedite it for the betterment of humanity. I just think that's an incredible thing to think about. We are alive during a time when something that phenomenal is at play. And if you think like I do and imagine that we are here on purpose, those of us that are here right now are here on purpose to see this through. I just feel so connected to that. And this is so strange for me because believe me, I have had a zillion careers, a zillion interests in my lifetime, but I haven't ever felt as much a part of a way of thinking and a way of trying to live my life as I do with all of this. And I just think it's one of the most beautiful things in the world that we can imagine is bringing science and spirituality and consciousness all together under one roof. So I hope that you take away something really amazing from this video and like and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to focus in on whatever it is my job is moving forward to help you connect to this as well. I think it's not only important for us, it's important for the future generations. Because if we can speak their language, it's going to make it easier for them, for the children, to enter into this world where this is in place. So, again, thank you. Love you guys and see you next time. Bye.